what is a pure substance? What is a pure substance? Pure substance is that substance which contains only one kind of particles. Because it contains only one kind of particles, therefore, all the particles, they have same size, same characteristics are exhibited by them. Next, a pure substance has fixed melting and boiling point. Next, suppose we take the example of NaCl, sodium chloride, and then in this sodium chloride there are present two particles, that is Na and Cl. Now this NaCl, it can be broken down into Na and Cl not by easy method, by some chemical process or by tough process. Therefore, we say that by physical process we cannot separate. We cannot separate by physical process, but by chemical process. Therefore, this is a pure substance. So, what is a pure substance? A pure substance is that substance which is made up of only one kind of particles. Because it is made up of only one kind of particles, so it shows the same characteristics. It has all the particles, they will be of same size, they will be of same mass, and they will show same properties or characteristics. If I say that sodium chloride is a pure substance, sodium chloride, it is made up of two particles, that is sodium and chlorine. To separate sodium and chlorine, you cannot separate it by physical process, but you require chemical process. Therefore, we say that sodium chloride is a pure substance. And all the properties will be same. Each and every particle of sodium chloride will show the same properties, though the source from which we get this sodium chloride, it may be different. Another example we can take of water. Water is what? H2O. It is made up of what? Hydrogen. It is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. To separate this hydrogen and oxygen from water, it is not easy. It requires some chemical process. Now, this water, we can get it from river, we can get it from lake, we can get it from spring, whatever may be the source of water. But this water, it will show the same characteristic, that is, it is colorless, it is odorless, it extinguishes fire. All these are the properties of water, and this water from whatever source we have got, but it will show the same property or characteristic. That is the reason we say that it is a pure substance. Now, next question, that is question number 20. To make a saturated solution, 36 grams of NaCl, 36 grams of NaCl, all these are your NCERT book questions, children. 36 grams of NaCl dissolved in 100 grams of water at 293 K. Find its concentration at this temperature. 36 grams of sodium chloride dissolved in 100 grams of water at 293 Kelvin. You have to find the concentration at this temperature. Concentration will be 100 grams is there. So, what is the concentration? Amount of solute dissolved in the given amount of solvent, and how much is the amount of solute? That is 36 grams. And how much is the volume of solvent? That is 100 grams. And you have to mention temperature also, because we know that concentration it increases with the rising temperature. As we increase the temperature, concentration will increase, right? So, and more and more solute will get dissolved as we increase the temperature. So, 36 grams per 100 grams of water at 293 Kelvin, right. So, this is about the next question. Now, next question is, how will you separate a mixture of kerosene and petrol? How will you separate a mixture of, question number 21 in your study material. How will you separate a mixture of kerosene and petrol? You are given two liquids, one is kerosene and one is petrol, and we know that both of them are miscible. Miscible means they mixed with each other, and their difference in their boiling point, it is more than 25 degree. Difference in boiling point. You are given two liquids, one is kerosene and one is petrol, both are miscible. Miscible means they mixed with each other, they get mixed up with each other. Now, you have to separate them, and difference in their boiling point is more than 25 degree. So, we have already done, that is what? Distillation. If this question is for 1 mark, children, then you have to mention only the name of the process, that is distillation, because, or you can add one more line, that is the difference in their boiling point is more than 25 degrees. So, we can separate them by process of distillation. Now, if the question is for 2 marks, then you have to explain also how we will do. So, the distillation we have already seen, children, that you have to take a distillation flask, and in that flask you have to take kerosene also and petrol also, and in the that is fitted with a cork and then condenser and thermometer is there. Out of these two, the one liquid which is having lower boiling point, the vapors, it will form first vapors and it will go into the condenser, and it will come down into the beaker in liquid form, and whatever is left in the flask, that will be the other liquid. So, in this way you can separate the two liquids by the process of distillation. Now, question number 22. Name the technique to separate first butter from curd. Already done, that is centrifugation. Next is salt from seawater. Salt from seawater, you can separate it either by distillation or by evaporation also. Then next is camphor from salt. How you can separate a mixture of camphor and salt? This camphor, it is what? It is a sublimate substance. it is a sublimate substance. Salt, it is not a sublimate. So, by the process of you will take a mixture of both the things and you will heat, you will take them in a you can say watch glass and keep the funnel over, inverted funnel over it, and you will heat. If you will heat, then what will happen? The vapors of camphor will rise up and they will settle down on the inner surface of the funnel, and whatever is left, that is salt. So, in this way you can separate the mixture of camphor and salt. Now, next question is, what type of mixture are separated by the technique of crystallization? What type of mixtures are separated by the technique of crystallization? Just now we have seen, children, we have studied crystallization just now, that copper sulphate solution, it is a true solution. Salt solution, it is a true solution. Those substances which completely dissolve in the solvent, and those substances which have crystalline structure, they can be separated by the process of crystallization. Just now we have done that you have to take a saturated solution and this saturated solution is filtered and then it is left open so that it gets evaporated. So, in this way those substances, those mixtures, they can be separated by the process of crystallization. Then question number, this was question number 23. Question number 23, just now we have discussed, children, that which type of mixtures are separated by the technique of crystallization, that is the substance should be, the solution should be a true solution. An example we have taken of copper sulphate and salt solution, right. And next question, that is 24 question, it is classify the following as chemical or physical changes. Chemical change and a physical change. What is a physical change? Only the physical properties they change. As we have seen in case of ice, when it gets melted, it changes into water. So, this is a physical change. In chemical change, chemical properties changes. How do the chemical properties changes? That if we take hydrogen and oxygen and pass electric current through it, then what happens? Water is formed. This hydrogen and oxygen, they are, oxygen is supporter of you can say burning, and hydrogen itself gets burned, but water, it is used for fire extinguishing. So, this is chemical change and this is physical change. In physical change only the physical properties changes, but in chemical change a new substance with different properties is formed. Example is cutting of trees. If you have a tree and if you cut some part of it, is it a chemical change or a physical change? Though we have cut a branch or some part of tree, this is physical change. But by cutting that big branch, what happens? That big branch is cut and now you are left with a tree, but that part is cut, and in that part of tree, in that branch of tree, all the chemical processes were going on, that is photosynthesis, manufacturing of food, then respiration, transpiration, all these processes were going on. Now, in this tree the chemical process will go on, but it will be less because of that cutting of the branch. So, this is a, though body we have cut and physics is changed, but by cutting that branch or part, what happens? The chemical process slows down and therefore it is a chemical change. Then next is melting of butter in a pan. When you take butter in a pan and if you try to melt it, then what happens? It changes from solid state to liquid state. So, that is what? That is a physical change. Then rusting of almirah. Rusting of almirah, almirah is made up of iron, and if it gets rusted, so what happens, iron gets oxidized, it combines with oxygen and iron oxide is formed. So, a new substance is formed, a brown colored new substance is formed, and that is a chemical change with different properties of course. Then boiling of water to form steam. When we heat water, then it changes into vapor and it changes into, and steam is formed. So, what happens, only from liquid state to gaseous state it has changed. So, this is a physical change. Then next is passing of electric current through water, breaking down into hydrogen and oxygen. This is chemical formula of water. If you pass electric current through it, then what happens? It breaks up into hydrogen and oxygen. So, what type of change it is? It is obviously a chemical change because the properties, they are totally different from water. Then next is dissolving common salt dissolved in water. What do we get? We get a solution of salt in water. Only the physical properties are changed. So, this is a physical change. Then next is making of fruit salad with raw fruits. Raw fruit, that is apple, banana, guava, all these fruits are taken and we cut them and mix them and we make fruit salad. So, what happens? Is there any chemical change, or you can say is there any change in their chemical properties? No. So, this is a physical change. Then next is burning of paper and wood. When you burn wood or when you burn paper, then what happens? The paper, it combines with oxygen present in the air and an oxide is formed, a new substance is formed, and we can say that chemical change has taken place. So, it is a chemical change, not physical change, right. So, this is about your question number 24. Then question number 25 in your study material. Question number 25, and all these questions, they are given in your NCERT book, children. Try segregating means separating the things around you as pure substance or mixture. All the things which are present around you, see them and try to separate them. For example, first we take distilled water. Distilled water is what? It is the water, it is first boiled to 100 degree, all the impurities are removed, and at 100 degree what happens? The water, it changes into steam, and this steam, it is then condensed and again it is changed into water. So, distilled water, it is pure water. Then B is curd. Curd, it is what? It is a mixture. Why it is mixture? It is made from milk. In milk, we do not know how much quantity of water is there, how much of fat is there. It differs from, you can say, source, from where we have got, right. So, that curd which we get from out of milk, it is a mixture. Then next is, or you can say, it is not pure substance. Then next is diamond. From where do we get diamond? Diamond we get from the mines. In the earth crust, carbon gets deposited, and due to the pressure and temperature of the overlying layer, this carbon, it changes into diamond, and this diamond, it is what? It is a pure substance. Then next is ice cream. Ice cream, Is it pure? No, again it is mixture. Why it is mixture? It will again depend upon how much milk is there, how much cream is there, how much preservatives are there, how much stabilizers, colors they are added to it. So, again it is not a pure substance, but it is a mixture. Then kerosene oil. Kerosene oil, from where do we get? We take it out from the petroleum. From petroleum, kerosene oil is taken out, and petroleum is what? It is a crude oil, it is a mixture of many oils, and we take it out from the earth's crust. From that petroleum, this kerosene oil, it is taken out, it is separated. So, if the impurities are present in it, then it is not a pure substance. If it is completely purified, then it can be a pure substance. Then next is cooking oil. Again this cooking oil, it is what? It can be, again it will depend upon the source and how much it may contain some impurity also. If it is not filtered, refined properly, then it may contain the, though after many you can say it is refined also, then also it may contain some impurity. So, it may not be pure. Then steel, steel is not a pure substance, it is an alloy of iron with chromium and nickel and iron, right. So, it is not a pure substance, it is a mixture. Then graphite, graphite again that is H. Graphite, how do we get graphite? Graphite we get, it is another, you can say, allotrope of carbon, and this also we get from the earth crust, but if it is a pure substance. Then next is raw rubber, and next is vulcanized rubber. Raw rubber is the rubber which we get from the rubber plant, and vulcanized rubber is after taking out that raw rubber, what do we do? It is processed, it is treated with some other thing, so it becomes a mixture. So, raw rubber is pure substance, but vulcanized rubber, it is a mixture. Then solder wire, solder wire means the wire which we use for soldering. It is what? It is used for very high temperature. In soldering, what happens? We heat it to the very high temperature, and therefore it is a because it is used for very heating to very high temperature. So, it is not alone used, it is mixed with other substances also, and therefore it is a mixture. Then next question, that is question number 26. Question number 26. Which separation techniques will you apply for the separation of the following? First is sodium chloride from its salt solution. Sodium chloride dissolved in water, how you will separate it out? You can separate it just by distillation. Then next is ammonium chloride from a mixture containing ammonium chloride and NaCl, NH4Cl and salt. You are having a mixture of these two and you want to separate them. What you will do, here we know that this is a sublimate substance. Sublimate substance means directly it undergoes from solid to the gaseous state without going to the liquid state. So, if you have these two mixture and if you heat them, then you will see that this will form vapors, this ammonium chloride will form vapors and it will get sublimate, and you will be left with sodium chloride. Then small pieces of metal in the engine oil of a car. In the oil there are present small pieces of metal and you have to separate them. How you will do? You can just do it by filtration. When you filter it, then you will get the pieces on the filter paper and that engine oil, it will come down. Then next is different pigments from an extract of flower petals. Flower petals, they are of different colors. Say they may be red color, they may be purple color, they may be yellow color, and you have to separate the pigment, different pigment. You can say yellow pigment, green pigment, red pigment, purple pigment, you have to separate. So how you will separate? That we have done in chromatography. Chroma means color, right? So this you can separate by the process of chromatography. Now butter from curd, already done, that is centrifugation. Then oil from water. Oil from water, they are immiscible. Immiscible means they do not dissolve with each other. So what happens? They do not you can say combine with, or you can say dissolve with each other. So immiscible liquids. So if you take oil and water, then you will see that water being heavier, it will come down, it will settle down as a bottom layer, and oil being lighter, it will come on the upper layer. This you can separate by separating funnel, right. Then next is tea leaves from tea. Tea leaves from tea, how do we do? Every day, in our everyday means a day-to-day program, what do we do? We make tea, and how do we separate the tea leaves? By filtration, by sieving, right. Then iron pins from sand. How iron pins are being separated from? How you can separate? By magnet. Iron is a magnetic substance and sand is not magnet. Just you can say when you take a magnet over this mixture, then iron pins, they will come and stick to the magnet and sand will be left. Then wheat grains from husk. The farmers, when they cut this wheat, and then this wheat, it contains the outer covering also, and that is called as husk. Now this mixture of wheat grain and husk, it can be either separated by sieving or by blowing. This way blowing is also done, or sieving can be done, right. By this method you can separate. Then fine mud particles suspended in water. Fine mud particles suspended in water. How they can be separated? They can be allowed, this mixture, it can be allowed for some time to stand undisturbed. Then what will happen? Fine mud particles, they will settle down. This is called a decantation. It is, they will settle down at the bottom, and then you can take the upper layer, and this will be only water, and in this way you can separate the suspended particles. And still more, if you want to have a pure water, then you can filter it also. So decantation and filtration, this way you can separate, right.